Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Tales from Quran series. Today we are going to learn the story of Prophet Yaqub alayhi salam. In the last episode, we learned about Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. The old prophet had 2 wives, and they bore him a child each. One of them was Prophet Ishaq alayhi salam. And when he grew up to be a man, he got married to Rebecca. Rebecca soon gave birth to a set of twins. They named them Esau and Yaqub. Esau grew up to be a strong man. He was strongly built and very hairy as well. He was a good hunter, and he was his father's favorite son. Prophet Yaqub, however, was not as strong as his twin brother, but what he lacked in strength, he compensated with intelligence. Yaqub alayhi salam was his mother's favorite, and he looked after their cattle. When Prophet Ishaq grew old, his eyesight weakened. One day, the old prophet realized that his death was near. During his final moments, he had a strong desire to eat meat. So he called Esau and asked him to go hunting and bring him some cooked animal. He promised his blessings to Esau if he obeyed him. Esau, a strong hunter, went out to get what his father wanted. His mother, Rebecca, was worried when she overheard their conversation. She wanted Yaqub alayhi salam to get the blessings of his father. So she ran to him. She ordered him to slaughter his best sheep and cook them as his father liked. She asked to bring it to him before his brother returned. She dressed Yaqub alayhi salam in his brother's clothes so that he would smell like Esau. Esau was very hairy, so she put goat skin on his arms and on his neck as well. When Yaqub alayhi salam approached his father with the food, his father asked, "Who is there?" And Yaqub answered, "I am your son." He said this in a deep voice to sound similar to Esau. When his father finished eating, he blessed his son to be the leader of his people. Yaqub alayhi salam was very happy and left the room. As soon as he had left, his brother Esau entered the room with a bowl in his hand. The old prophet asked, "What is this, my son?" And he answered, "Well, father, this is the food you like." Then Ishaq alayhi salam asked, "Didn't you bring food just now? I even gave you my blessings." Esau said, "No, I swear I didn't, father." It was only then that he realized that he had been tricked by his brother. He was very, very angry now. He wanted to kill his brother. He left the room and went looking for Yaqub alayhi salam. Fearing for his life, Yaqub alayhi salam fled the country. His mother asked him to go to the land of Haran, where her brother Laban lived. Prophet Yaqub alayhi salam traveled through the desert for many days. One night, he found a place to rest. He took a stone and put it under his head and went to sleep. It was then that he dreamed of a ladder from heaven to earth. Angels were going up and down. It was then that he received a revelation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. "I will bless you and your children. I make this land for you and for those who come after you." When he woke up, he was so happy from what he had seen in his dream. He swore that if he ever returned to his family safely, he will build a mosque for Allah the Almighty. He also vowed to give 1/10 of his property for the sake of Allah. He continued his travel and finally reached the land of Haran. His uncle Laban was so happy to meet his sister's son. Laban had 2 daughters. The elder one was called Zia and the younger was called Rachel. Rachel was prettier than Zia, and the prophet really liked her. The prophet stayed with his uncle for a few days, and in the meantime, he fell in love with Rachel. One day, he asked his uncle for permission to marry Rachel. Laban thought for a while and agreed. But there was one condition. The Prophet had to work for Laban for 7 long years. Yaqub alayhi salam agreed and he worked very hard. Because of the Prophet's hard work, Laban's flock multiplied. As the 7-year period came to an end, Laban had grown quite rich by now. It was all because of the hard work done by the Prophet. Laban knew that the Prophet would return home as soon as he marries Rachel, and Laban didn't want that. So, he hatched a plan to trick the Prophet. At the end of the 7-year period, Laban made all arrangements for the wedding and arranged a great feast. He hid the face of his elder daughter Zia and got her married to the Prophet. The Prophet realized that he had been tricked by his uncle only the next morning. He complained to his uncle, "You cheated me. I was in love with Rachel, your younger daughter, and you married me to Zia?" His uncle said, "It is not our tradition to marry the younger daughter before the elder one. However, you can marry Rachel if you are willing to work for me for 7 more years." Yaqub alayhi salam agreed. He married Rachel and he worked for another 7 years under his uncle. In the meantime, Zia was blessed by Allah and gave birth to 7 boys. Yusuf and Binyamin were very obedient and they were their father's favorite. After some time, Prophet Yaqub alayhi salam started missing his family. He had not seen them for quite some time now. His uncle said to him, "I have been blessed because of you. Ask me whatever money you need." The Prophet didn't ask for much, and he only requested to give him all the striped, speckled, and black sheep born during this year. Laban agreed to his request, but as the Prophet left, he started making plans to cheat him again. The next day, Laban asked his sons to steal all the speckled, spotted, and black sheep from the flock. When the Prophet realized that he had been cheated by his uncle again, he decided that it was time to return to his homeland. Without saying any word to his uncle, he took his wives and children and left the land of Haran early the next morning. He took with him all the cattle, the camel and sheep that rightfully belonged to him as well. When Laban realized this, he gathered all his people and followed the Prophet. They soon caught up with the Prophet, and Laban questioned him for leaving without informing anyone. The Prophet explained the reasons, and they soon arrived at an understanding. They agreed to never set foot in each other's land, and they had a wonderful meal together. Esau had grown even stronger by now. When he received the news of his brother's arrival, he remembered his oath and set out to kill his brother. But Yaqub alayhi salam had sent his servants before him. He sent many cattle, sheep, and camel as his gift to his brother. When Esau saw this, his anger subsided and apologized to his brother. They made peace with each other and hugged. Prophet Yaqub alayhi salam returned to his homeland and lived for many years.